I've been playing E-Slav for a very long time now, and over the course of me playing this game, I've seen this game go through a lot of changes. From system mechanics to entire character reworks, you name it, I pretty much saw it. However, within the past year, there's been a change to E-Slav that I consider to probably be the most important change made to the game. And that's the combo timer. Now you probably wonder, the combo timer, what does that mean? Well, allow me to elaborate. Before we get into that, if you don't know who I am, my name is Disco Wonderland, and I'm your one-stop shop for all your E-Slav wants and needs. And if you enjoy the content on my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps your boy out with the algorithm and that good stuff. With that being said, let's talk about the combo timer. So, what is the combo timer? Well, if you look at the name, it kind of explains itself. So, the combo timer is a timer that essentially takes down during your combos, and once that timer finally runs out, your combo will eventually drop. Now, this is just some sort of new mechanic that's been added to the game. This mechanic has been within the game since the very beginning. However, there's been some changes made to the combo timer that make combos overall a lot more strict, as well as affect the amount of damage a combo could do and the overall length of a combo. Now, what are these main changes? Well, there are two changes in particular. One, screen positioning affects the timer length of combos. Also, the starter of your combo also affects the length of your combos. What does that mean? Well, let me demonstrate. So, we have Tay and Main here. They're about mid-screen. And when I press this jab, and when I hit Main with this jab, you're going to see a timer on the left side of the screen that's going to wind down during a combo. So, a standing jab. Now, you see that little timer right there? You see the little bar? If you squint your eyes, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look closely, there is a number that also ticks down with the bar itself. This number is the value in seconds of which the timer lasts. Now, when I was initially preparing for this video and sort of taking down notes of what are the exact values of each attack depending on the screen positioning, it was kind of hard for me to see the actual numbers because they're kind of small. So I decided to do some guesstimating, did some averages, and this is what I sort of came up with. So take what I say with a grain of salt. This is not the gospel. You can go and train mode yourself and sort of figure out yourself exactly how much time you have with each attack, but this is what sort of I came up with. Now, mid-screen, A attacks are about 4 seconds. B attacks, about 4.5 seconds. C attacks are 5 seconds. And D attacks are 5 seconds as well. Now, there are some D attacks that are a little bit different, such as Tay's 2D. Tay's 2D mid-screen is about 3 seconds, so it's a lot shorter. So, generally, outside of some certain D normals, D attacks and C attacks generally start the same amount of time. Now, because of that, you're not going to see a lot of juicy combos mid-screen. You're probably going to see some stuff like hard knockdown or air combo to a throw. You're not going to see nothing crazy. Now, once we get to the corner, however, that's when things start to get a little juicy. So once you hit the corner, you get a lot more time for a lot more lengthier and juicier combos. A attacks in the corner, 8 seconds. B attacks in the corner, 8.5 seconds. C attacks, 9 seconds. And just like D, 9 seconds. So your starters are very important in the corner because depending on your starter, the combo that you would do from a B attack will not work if you started with an A attack, generally. So as you can see, the start of your combo as well as the screen position of you and your opponent's character can greatly affect the length of your combos and what sort of route you might want to go for when going for particular combos. Now, we're not quite done yet because now we have to talk about counter hit. Now, generally across the board for what I gauge on the screen when I was doing all my testing, counter hits generally add about 1.5 seconds to the overall combo timer for all normals across the board. So if A attack mid-screen is normally 4 seconds, then mid-screen counter hit will be 5.5 seconds. B attacks that are normally 4.5 seconds are now 6 seconds. C attacks and D attacks, normally 5 seconds, are now 6.5. So now we are in the corner. Same rules applies. If an A attack is normally 8 seconds on the corner, counter hit is going to be 9.5. B attacks that are normally 8.5 seconds are now 10 seconds. And then C and D attacks, which were normally 9 seconds non-counter hit, are now 10.5 seconds on counter hit in the corner. Now, keep a note. I'm going to take counter hit for a second. The closer you get to the corner, the more time you get. So, if all this numbers and values don't really make sense in your head, here's a general rule. Closer you get to the corner, the more time you have for your combos. And the stronger your starter, the more time and damage you can do with your combos. That is the general rule. If you don't get anything else from this video, just remember that, because that's probably the most basic way I can explain. Okay, so now that we explained that as well as counter hit, we can talk about fatal shift. Now, fatal shift is basically the same as counter hit. The same rules apply, because fatal shift, if you don't know, is a mechanic that forces a counter hit on your fatal shift attack. So before an A attack, that would be normally, we can take counter hit off. A attack, 4 seconds. If I fatal shift it, it's now 5.5. Now you might see for a second that might be a visual glitch where it looks like it adds more time than it actually does. I think that's like sort of a bug. I'm not really sure. But once the attack actually lands, you can see it's actually 5.5 seconds. Same thing for B, 6 seconds. C, 6.5. So why did Free make these changes to the combo timer? Well, from what I look at it, essentially the combo timer pretty much forces players to be hyper aware of their screen positioning at all times. Also, it adds a layer of decision making to whether you might want to go for damage or hard knockdown into an Oki situation. Now, when the combo timer was first introduced, I wasn't a big fan of it because, me personally, I like the big long combos that E-Slap was known for. You know, Tay used to pretty much one-touch kill everyone playing this game. But as I thought about it more and as I realized, it might actually be healthier that characters like Tay aren't really one-touching or two-touching you off a single hit. And it just gives you more chances to play the game. And honestly, it's usually for the best. Usually creates a healthy environment for players to play. You know, I would hate for a new player to come in, you know, and the moment they get touched on the screen, they literally just lose. You know, I mean, you have your burst and your defensive mechanics for whatnot, but I mean, for the most part, back in the day, you was getting smoked in one hit. So I think that's probably for the best. And honestly, I think the sort of Guilty Gear approach of being able to choose to go for damage or a hard knockdown is probably the way to go for this game. I think characters who can do a lot of damage and still good Oki might be a bit too much. It might not be needed in today's modern era of fighting games, but that's just like a whole personal opinion. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole. But now that we talk about the combo timer, let's talk about something else that affects the combo timer, which is SMP, or same move proration. So what is SMP, or same move proration? Well, essentially SMP is a scaling mechanic that greatly reduces the damage that you can do, as well as reducing the amount of hits on an opponent suffers during a combo, should an attack in a combo be used too many times. So the best way I can explain this is with a simple demonstration. So Tay has a chain attack with her D. It's 5DD. Right? So let's say I go into free route, right? And I decide to do this multiple times, okay? So I'm gonna try to set this up. So I'm gonna do free route. So you see right there what happened was, because I used 5DD way too many times, you'll see what pops on the screen is repetitive. Essentially, this is same move proration kicking in. Notice how the amount of damage just completely just like start reduced, right? It got to a point where the combo eventually dropped. So essentially, if you use one move too many times in one combo, not only is your damage reduced, but the combo will drop if you decide to use that move way too many times. So that's essentially same move proration in a nutshell. This is not a mechanic exclusive to E-Slap. This mechanic, I believe, was introduced in games like BlazBlue. But in BlazBlue, same move proration only affected damage, not actual hit stun. But yeah, that's basically SMP in a nutshell. So not only you have to worry about the combo timer and the screen positioning and your starter you use, but you also have to worry about using a particular move in a combo too many times due to SMP. So you really have to go in the lab and really figure out how much damage I can squeeze on, how creative can I get with my combo routing. So that's essentially everything in a nutshell. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, what are you guys' overall thoughts on the combo timer changes? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you think combos should be longer, do more damage? Or do you think the changes are healthy for the game, where you can actually decide whether to go for hard knockdowns or go for a lot of damage? Please let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want to get your hands on this game, There'll be links in the description box below that have a link to the Discord, the wiki, free trial version of the game, as well as the Patreon where you can subscribe to the creator of the game for $5 a month to get access to the full game as well as future updates. As always, guys, it's been your boy Disco Wonderland. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
But can you make it on your own?